Yo, what it do, Flow Riders? What it do? After a week of guests, used to switch it back so it just comes back to Katie and I because I don't need to introduce her. You know who she is.
Hi, I'm Katie.
What is happening? Oh my God! Look, people are here. Look, Sharon is here. Hey, Sharon, how you doing?
Welcome back,
Somebody
Sharon.
woke up. Paul.
I
Paul is here.
love
All
it.
right,
Hi,
let's
Paul.
let's get started. This is gonna be fun. So we've been doing this new format, which is a lot of fun to
Yep.
me, because I get to produce again, which is funny because I produce my own thing all the time, but that's just normal to the point where you almost forget that you're doing it, which I say not as a flex, but I want all of you guys who are stuck, bothered, rolled, nervous, confused, whatever, understand the process that once you do it enough times, it's just like that situation when you drive home from work and then something catches your attention, good song, good conversation, killer podcast like this one. And then you get home and you realize, I have not been paying attention to the road, but yet you didn't hit anything. And that's just because your flow is
Autopilot.
so flow
Yeah.
that it just becomes second nature. So what's actually cool about doing this show and the way that, Katie and I decided to flip the script is it's actually requiring me to go back into producing and not producing on automatic, which is actually better to keep your skills together, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Okay.
It makes
Let's
sense.
make sure I'm
I'm
not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. And I love that it is through the lens of play. So, and Caleb's been preaching this to us for the last for the last year or more. But I do think it's been fun, and it's been fun to remember that when you are more hands-on with it, you also get the opportunity to really bring a vision to life. So it's been really great to, to bounce ideas back and forth with you um and have you just be able to, to put that into the show, and to be able, and for us to be doing it immediately, I think is really special too. So I hope that this is inspiring to all of you, that, this show was originally, the purpose and the reasoning behind it was to see how we use Ecamm for podcasting, how a podcast works in 2026 and beyond, and also, like, what's possible. So it's meant to be a bit of a test space. So I like that.
Yeah.
I like that we've been pushing buttons. You've been pushing buttons, and we've been trying different things and bringing everyone on the journey.
It's
And
been a
I'm
lot of
so
fun.
excited because today is the mailbag episode, which we've
Yeah.
been wanting to do for like the longest time now, and actually finally get to do. So really, I'm excited. I'm
It
excited
it
for this.
has definitely been a journey. We've been you're right, wanting to do this for a long time, and I'm super excited to get in. We got some pretty incredible questions that came in so far. Big ups to Matt for going above and beyond and making sure that we got a bunch. I know a lot of people are going to be nervous at first, which, hey, don't worry, we're going to come back to that in a second because it's actually a brilliant question. And yeah, we're going to dive in, but before we do that, I just want to remind everybody the new format is as follows. I'm going to try my best not to screw this up, but that's why Katie's here. So,
I'll correct you.
in the beginning of the month, so next
Hmm.
week's episode, right? Because February only has a
Hmm.
short calendar. Okay, so
Yep.
in the beginning of the month, next week's episode, we'll talk about what our subject matter for the month is going to be.
Our topic.
And then the second week, we are going to bring on our guest. Last week we flipped
Yep.
it just because of scheduling, but the second week will be on our guest, our subject matter expert, our SMEs, as we call it in the
Yep.
industry. And then on the third week, we're going to basically have that live co-work where we get together and we all do what we're supposed to be doing. And then on the
Yep.
fourth week, we're going to come in and we're going to do what we're doing today, which is the mailbag. Did I do that right?
Yeah, and you did it absolutely
Okay.
right. And guess what, Doc? Next month, March, we actually have five. We have five
We have
weeks in
five.
the month.
Oh
So
yeah,
we're
March
going to
always
do a
does that.
bonus. We're going to do a bonus for next month. And we're going to do a
Drinking
cafe.
game.
So
No, sorry.
yeah, a drinking game. No. No, we're gonna do a cafe. So if you haven't been part of one of our cafes yet, this was Doc's vision, and we brought it into Ecamm. So what we will do is, within the Ecamm community, all are welcome. all you don't have to be part of the Ecamm community to participate, but we will be sharing a Zoom link, and so we're just gonna all get together on Zoom, and we'll be able to talk to each other, ask questions, share what we experienced throughout the month. Just spend time together. So it'll be specific to our topic for next month, but it will be a bonus chance for us to get to chat and hang out. So there'll be no official episode. We will not be live, but we will be spending time with all of you who are willing to hang out with us. So same time, not same channel, same bat time, different bat channel.
I like it a lot. That'll be cool. Oh man, this is gonna be great. So hooray to March for the 5 weeks. Okay, so
Hooray. And we're gonna need 5 weeks for that for our topic, which we will announce next week. But it's a meaty topic, so
all right,
we'll need
this
all
is cool.
5 weeks.
This is cool. Look, and then after that, we're going to Disneyland.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's true. It's been a while since we've been at Disneyland, so.
So let's dive into our Q&A, and we're going to start out with our very first question. So big ups to everyone who sent in questions. And what happens is Caleb sends out an email that states, hey guys, we're accepting questions, but you don't want to have to wait. You don't have to wait until that comes along. You can always just go to the website flow.ecamm.com if you really want to send in your question early. But let's just get started with our very first question.
Hi, I'm Sharon, and I am a big fan of Ecamm and have been with them since almost the beginning, but 5 years taken off because of extraordinary things happening in my personal life. Anyway, I'm back, and I want to get busy with lives again. I used to do it with Ecamm before, but so much has changed since I've been away, and I'm wondering if there's a set of videos or something that you could recommend that I could watch that would help bring me up to speed so I can live like I want to do. Thank you so much.
Listen, before we leave this question, where can I get that lamp? This lamp right here, oh my God, that is so dope. I like lamps. I'm weird like that. When I say I looked at this about 20 times when I was chopping these up, I was like, this lamp is cool. So I was going to Google Lens it. But yeah, that lamp is quite freaking amazing. Quite amazing. So thank you, Sharon, for the question.
Thank you, Sharon.
let me leave her alone. Okay, Katie, I'll let you crack the first one.
Well, you know what? This is a really great question, and I'm gonna put up my embarrassed hand over my eyes to say that we are actually in the process of updating a lot of our videos, so we don't have a particular series that I can point you to. However, I will say that the one and only Jill, who is our community manager, has been doing a series called Office Hours, which are Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. They are a Zoom link, so you can jump in, and she is there, and the rest of the team, moderators, sometimes Doc's on, sometimes I'm on, are there to answer all of your questions and be able to work through stuff together. So that's probably the best place to start, is just to start joining us for office hours if that time works for you. The second thing that I would say is that, actually, let me pause for a second and say the link so that Paul can drop it for us into the comments. But the link to find out about all of our events, including office hours, is ecamm.com/calendar. That will get you our calendar that has everything you're looking for. So that's an important thing to remember. And then Sharon, since I know you are hanging out with us and you just asked for the link, so tomorrow, yes, tomorrow, so Wednesday, February 25th, Adrian Salisbury is actually doing a training called Ecamm Foundations, which is completely free. It's on YouTube Live. It's open to everyone. So if you go ecamm.com/foundations, that will allow you to register for bonus content, the recordings, and a Zoom session. But he's going to be covering all of the Ecamm basics. So it's like actually perfect timing for you to be welcoming back, because we're doing a refresh. We're jumping in. And thankfully, I guess the third thing I'll say is that not a lot has changed of the functionality within Ecamm pertaining to live streaming. I think the only thing that you'll see different is the ability to multi-stream and be able to just go out to more platforms. But it works the same way it always has, in that it's very, very simple and literally as easy as hitting that go live button. So hopefully it will look familiar enough from the structure of it, with just more options and more functionality for you. But those are those are all of the different answers to your questions. Did I miss anything, Doc?
No, I was waving at James because James had to go. I was giving James the aloha.
Bye, James.
Bye, James. So I did want to say one thing that's not really an eCam thing, but is a foundational shift in just content in general. I don't want to just blame it on live streams, but it's in content in general. And yesterday, the beloved Pat Flynn just dropped a video explaining this. It's something that I've been talking about for a hot minute, and our other partner, Benji, has been talking about for going on nigh on 2 years. Right now, Sharon, because the internet is so full of AI slop. Paul and I have this joke about that one voice. Hey, did you know that you can get this? And if you rub this on your trees will grow extra fruit. That one voice, when you hear it, you know it's AI. It's pretty obnoxious. As a matter of fact, I heard it in a commercial yesterday, and I can't believe a brand used that one official 11 Labs generic Gen 1 11 Labs voice. 11 Labs have been working on their fitness. Their new voices are really good, but they picked the Gen 1 11 Labs voice, which is the one me and Paul hate. And I'm like, bruh, like don't. But because AI slop is just so prevalent, girl, all you got to do is just show up and be like, hey, I'm Sharon and I'm here, and you will be doing way better. You will be doing way better than half the stuff that's on the internet. Right now, it's not quite 50-50, but because it's so irritating, it feels 50-50. I feel like just being a human and just showing up, you're gold. To go back to what Katie stated when we first cracked this mic today, just go have fun. And even if you're talking about something that I would say serious, right? Say we're doing estate planning or whatever, just make it human. Just make it as human as possible. Yep. Don't overdo it. Matter of fact, make your lamp crooked. It's going to hurt my OCD heart, but it's better for you to show up with a crooked lamp than to show up with everything perfect right now. Because if everything is perfect,
I think my camera
somebody
is
will
crooked
say
today.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's
and
a
I'm
little
like,
tilt down, but that's okay.
It's a little tilt, yeah.
Because I literally saw an incredible video the other day, and someone had the audacity to ask the question, is this real? And the reason why it was so, shocking is this girl and her mom, this Korean lady, the mom went to go start a restaurant in Mexico way, way, way back in like the early 70s. So the daughter was 100% born and raised in Mexico. And if you look at her, you would not expect her to come out with this most perfect Mexico City Mexican. Like it was flawless. Her Spanish was absolutely flawless. And people are like, oh, this must be AI. And she's like, no, I'm a Korean born in Mexico. This is how I talk, and then when she flips back and forth between Spanish and English, it just, Spanish and Korean and English, she can actually do all three. It's just really shocking to people. And because AI is so good now, everyone thinks it's fake. And so that video is actually doing gangbusters because people don't realize there's a massive Korean community in Mexico City. There has been for quite a long time. Just like I would say over 50% of the non-Okinawan population living in Okinawa lives in Peru. Not where you would think. The rest live here in Hawaii in my mother-in-law's house. But yeah, it's a really incredible situation. So just come, show up, be you. Don't overthink it. Just have fun. And if you need an example of how to be good but goofy on camera, just watch Jill. Don't tell her I said that, Katie. You get me in trouble. Yeah, so this is great. You're going to have an absolute blast. She says that I feel comfortable on camera. It's the tech that gets in the way. Hey,
that's just practice.
The tech gets in everybody's way. I've been doing this mess forever, and it still bites me every once in a while. I hung up on the stream the other day by accident. It was pretty hilarious. So it happens. Don't worry. Yep. All right, that was a really good one. I feel excited. We just knocked one out the park already.
Thank you for sending it in, Sharon, and welcome back. We're so excited. We can't wait to see your test stream.
Super good stuff. Okay, let's see who we got next.
Hey guys, Matt from the Generator Podcast here, and I've been loving what you're creating all month about community and podcasts. I have a question for you. There's a difference between an audience that cares about your material and an audience that cares for each other in a community. Can you walk me through the mechanics of shifting from that first to the second type of community? Thanks.
Okay, I like that. I have to set them up so they don't abruptly stop. My bad. Edit for
Matt,
next
your
week.
audio so crispy. You sound like chef's
I
kiss.
read it through
It's
Auphonic.
absolutely
It
perfect.
was good already, but of course I read it through
So
Auphonic. You know how
crispy.
I do. And you'll
Yeah.
see why I read it through Auphonic in a second, because the next question, the audio wasn't that great, but I was able to fix it with Auphonic. So again, people, I cannot tell you, we don't get any commission. We're not partners or anything. Auphonic is just the absolute truth. And the free version of that is Adobe Podcast. Auphonic's just a little bit better. I would say Adobe Podcast is like, a Jim Beam or a Jack Daniels, where Phonic would be like a 18-year-old Glenfiddich or something from Isla single malt, just pure Scottish gold. Anyway,
This
let's
has
not turn
been
this into the
Scotch
whiskey
with Doc.
into the whiskey show. Okay, I would say the reason why I wanted to put that question next is because foundationally it leads us to the rest of the questions for today.
Great.
And
It's a great question.
and Matt, first of all, fantastic question. The reality difference is, okay, I say this all the time. Audience is one way, community is one way. Audience is passive, a community is relational. And so what that means is you are creating relationships with the individual people that are in there, and sort of by leading by example, they will in turn also start to interact that way. So in the ECAM community, like, everybody, once we get their nicknames going, they all know what their nicknames are. Like Paul is Mr. Moderator. Everybody gets that, or P Dunks, what I call him sometimes. A couple of years ago, I used to call him P Diddy, but I never say that anymore. And you can understand why. But what happens is the way you talk to them is setting the tone for the way that they'll talk to each other. And I had a really epic win in my community sort of last weekend and then this weekend, where we were trying to get, Aubrey to sort of work further along in her book. And she's doing great, but she says, I feel like I want to do some more. And so we found out that Yolanda is one of the most curious people in the planet, and she got questions. And well, she's a trained question asker because she's an attorney. So Yolanda was like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call you up and I'm going to ask you interview questions, and then you just answer them and we'll record them, and then we can transcribe those and move them into your book. You know what I mean? So you allow their talents, to highlight each other. Right? A really, really cool way. Just like when we find out that Daniel is really good at breaking stuff. Hey, Daniel, why don't you test this to see if you can break it? He can break it.
Yeah.
He always can break it. But that helps Ken and Glenn. So by the time you guys get it, it's normally a little bit better fleshed out because Daniel has already figured out the 90 ways to break something. He's really good at it. So in a way, you set the tone with the conversation, and then you sort of build space for them to talk to each other. And I think one of the hugest problems is people think I can just spin up a Discord. Or, Becky talked about this sort of last week. And I highly suggest if you didn't catch that, go back and catch up on that episode. But there are definitely things that you can do inside the community that sort of sparks that, getting together. And that's why we do the co-working sessions. That's why we do office hours. And at one point before Facebook broke it, we used to do happy hour on Fridays. Everybody just pull up a little drink. It'd be 12 o'clock in the afternoon for me, but we would just pull up a little cocktail and just hang out and just talk story, like open mic kind of situations. So think of things like that you can do that allows them to sort of work with each other instead of challenges where they have to do teamwork. Like it's really phenomenal. So we're lucky we have camp and other facilities that allow us to do that. But that would be my answer. You have anything to add?
Yeah. I think you nailed it. It's really creating a space, and as you said, setting the tone. So I noticed even with my show, and definitely with this one as well, it because we are live streaming it, it does make it a little bit easier because the second we see your comments come through, we can respond immediately to them, and there is that connection point is just so quick and so easy for us to do on both sides, which then lets people know, oh, well, if I ask questions here in the chat or if I comment here in the chat, they can see it and they're going to respond back to it immediately. So we've set the tone and we've set the agreement between host and guest and host and community member. But you can do the same thing in a in a Facebook group, in a Patreon, in a Zoom, in any other different space where you're interacting in email. It's just a matter of like actually showing up and when they speak, listening and responding. We got an email the other day that came in about our affiliate program, and I emailed back as I am often doing, and the response back was, oh wow, I didn't think that, like, I figured this would be automated, right? I figured this would be an automated situation. I didn't expect there to be a person on the other end, and not just a person, but someone that I know. Like, I've seen you on videos, Katie, so I was surprised that you were the one that was responding back to me. So it's that kind of tone that you're setting. Like, people don't, as Doc just said earlier, like, people are expecting it to be automated. People are expecting robots. People are expecting inauthenticity, and they're expecting a one-to-many conversation. So when you make it a one-to-one and you make it a two-way conversation, you are setting that it's going to take time, but you are setting the tone for that community. So it takes time, but it also, more than that, takes intentionality. So I think you really just want to be really, really focused on what kind of experience you're trying to create for your community, and listening so that if and when you need to make changes to that, you can. Maybe there's something that happens within your community that makes your show better or different. So
Yeah, I really do like this. And I just put this in the chat because I wanted, again, something that, Paul has heard me say 1,000 times. Paul says it in his Paul way. But it's very much true. The audience, I mean, like, it comes from the root word, which is to listen or to hear, right? So that's the reason why you're getting that kind of one-way interaction if you keep calling them audience. Like, I try to stick to community at all costs. The word audience comes out because that's just, the term of art. But if I can make the whole industry switch that word, the whole industry itself will get better. And then I also put in for communis, which is, shared by many or common or public. And so if you can anchor that in your own head, like, even try to remove the word audience from your vocabulary, is super helpful. And so, for instance, something that Renee preaches to us all the time, Renee is our community liaison for YouTube. He says that get algorithm out your mouth and change that to audience. And then I got to do a double switch, like those of us who are multilingual, you know how this works. I got to switch it from that, then I switch it to community as well. So the algorithm is your community. YouTube is not doing anything to make people do X or whatever. No, that's how you generate community. Is how you open up the public space and make it where it feels common to be shared by other, right? They call it the common area. Those of us who pay AOAO dues, yeah, it has to be things like that swimming pool, that rec deck, the parking lot. You need to make a space for them. So I often say, rather than thought leaders, I like to say I'm more of a space maker, right? I think space maker is way more important than thought leaders, because thought leaders, I have no other analogy besides one I don't want to use right now. But thought leaders can lead to mass destruction. Let's just put it that way. And you can do your World War II history by yourself. Okay? So the
one thing I did want to add, actually, that I feel like I learned from Becky last week. Again, she did a really nice job in kind of bringing up a lot of concepts that I think I knew, but it didn't really resonate until she said it. So one thing that I think is an easy trap to fall into, and certainly something that I've been very guilty of, and it really resonated with me when she said it, is like, not everything has to be this huge promise. Like, I just want so hard to deliver to my community that I'm always like, okay, community, like, I've created this new space for you, and like, when you sign up and join it, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, and I want you to give me this. And like, even with this mailbag episode, right? Like, we really wanted a mailbag episode, and we were like, please send us your video questions, give it to us now, right? I think sometimes that makes it difficult for community members and isn't what they actually want to get out of that experience. So I've been trying to be more intentional. And one shift I made immediately on the other side of hearing her say that is, oh, well, I have an email list. So instead of just like making everything a giveaway or a big campaign or a big thing, I just started asking questions and putting at the bottom of my email like, hey, we respond to all these questions. So like, what's your favorite movie? What's one movie that you actually hate but everyone else loves? Like, safe space, you can tell me. And you start hearing, people just actually, it's a very low lift for them to just hit reply and talk to you or to show up in a comment. So I wanted to call that out because I thought Becky was really smart in saying that. And it's something that, like, oh yeah, when she said it, I'm like, oh, how dumb I've been in doing the most. You don't always have to do the most. It's those little easy low lift moments for both of you, for your community members as well as for you, that actually start that conversation. It's the small talk. You got to start with the small talk before
100%.
you can do the big, like, deep asks. So
I like this.
I really like that. And I thought she did a great job with that.
I like this from Stephen.
Yeah.
He said that thought leaders often self-aggrandizing and overused. Creators can be more, and I agree with this.
Yeah.
And I feel like the thought leader situation, if someone else calls you that, okay, I'll maybe just take it with grace. If you call yourself that, you're being an eggplant emoji. I'll just leave it at that. Sorry.
Where's our beep button, Doc?
Sorry. Hey, you could say eggplant emoji. Let them figure it out by themselves. Okay.
right,
This one was really good. And I apologize when I was doing the intake. I screwed something up and I lost his name, but my bad. I will
Yeah.
tell Caleb I'm sorry later. But let me play this. Oh, play it, dude.
Let's Low Riders, question time. What's one strategy to get random viewers into loyal returning viewers for your live stream or content? Thank you.
Listen, that is very, very good. And I really like this question because I think it kind of sits in sort of two areas. One leads to, give them something that they can't get from just watching the recordings. And
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of hard. It's not. It's like Becky brought this up last week, and this was the ton of breaks for me. I still got my notes over here. I didn't even scan them into my scanner situation yet. But she said you want your community to be a product,
Yeah.
not just an extension of your podcast. Like, it needs to be like a standalone product, which is funny because every time when people ask me, hey, what's the best feature in Ecamm, I always say it's the community. It's the one thing that nobody can copy, right? No other platform can copy our community because our community is our community. But to make it simpler, this is where I think a lot of creators think I can just solve this problem by just simply creating new content. And I want to say it's not about the ritual, it's about the relationship. And just new content doesn't really bridge that gap. Okay, so for instance, Katie is always the last, so it's probably not going to work with her, but I'll ask anyway. Have you started watching The Pit yet?
No.
See, I knew it. She busy, and then you can't watch The Pit when your kids are awake. So that takes.
I'm almost done season 4 of Stranger Things. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay, Stranger Things
No
is perfect.
spoilers.
Stranger Things is perfect, right? When the creators create Stranger Things, they do things in the story arc, the character build, that makes you fall in love with the particular character.
Yep.
Okay, so who's your favorite character in Stranger Things?
Steve.
Yeah, me too. We're Virgos, of course.
High five.
Right? We're Virgos, of course. It's Steve, right? So as you go through that, okay, you can have characters in your show. So for instance, whether planned or not, a character in Paul's show is Maestro. Because Paul will be doing something and be serious, and Maestro would just come out with the tail right across his face while Paul is working. Maestro can't talk. He can't read a script. He might be SAG affiliated, so he gets benefits for being on camera all the time. But it's just a thing, it's going to pop up. When I first started this whole process, Stephanie was my go-to person that I watched to all the time, and there was a running joke that her daughter Emma was going to come in and ask mom for a snack at some portion of that hour. And so I used to be the weirdo in the chat. Okay, what's the over under on what time Emma's going to come in? And so we would put times in the chat, and whoever got closest to the time, we had our own little thing. So by giving them something that they can't do, building that sort of relationship with the people, and I know this sounds harder than it is, and on the flip side of that, it also sounds easier than it is. But
Yeah.
picking a name, coming up with
Yep.
games, nicknames, acknowledging people, allowing them to make fun of you, find something that they can all agree to pick on you about, right? So, yeah, mine's is my musical Tourette's everybody teases me about, but I can't help it.
Yeah, I think that's really genius, and it's been really funny to watch that happen in real life for for the VHS Club, because so if you're not part of that audience, so a number of you have come over and have been part of the audience and have been hanging out, and one regular member is my good friend Val, who is awesome. She's part of the Ecamm fam. She has not, like, jokingly has not seen a single
Anything.
movie that we've reviewed, maybe like one. And so it's actually become this, like, she is like literally our inadvertent mascot, so much so that we had a guest on a couple weeks ago, Zach, and Zach was like, I think VHS actually stands for Val
Bro
hasn't seen it yet.
Oh my God.
And so it's literally, so like without me actually doing anything other than noticing when she said that. So like at the beginning of every episode, we're always like, oh, have you all seen this one? What do you think? Participate in the chat. We'd love to hear like what you thought of this movie. And Val always says, I haven't seen it. And now, even when Val isn't there, the other community members are like, I bet Val hasn't seen this. Has Val seen this? Hey, Paul, you want to text Val and see if she's seen this one? Like, she doesn't even have to be there for it to become a fun game for people to do. But again, that was because, similar to what you just said, Doc, like, because at one point, after maybe 2 or 3 episodes of her saying that out loud, we would laugh and call it out, and it became this thing where we're like, okay, well, then the goal of this episode isn't for us to rate and review whether or not we like this movie. It's whether or not we can convince Val to watch this movie, right? So it's still us intentionally noticing what someone is saying in the chat, making them feel included, and making it fun again. So
Yeah.
it's different, obviously, for different industries and topics, but the concept is the same. So it's really just listening, and it's those small talk interactions, I think, that go a really long way. So it's a great question. It's the heart of community is really just you need to people. You need to
You need the
need to
people.
be constantly
And
peopling.
man, listen, the callback moments, community traditions.
Yep.
We for at one point in time we had the drinking game of
Yeah.
whenever someone says, "Hey, when is Ecamm going to make a Windows version?" People start throwing the whiskey or the cocktail or the coffee. They soak some kind of beverage emoji into the chat. Because the drinking game is people come in. The answer is never. Okay, just so you know, the answer is absolutely never. But now our community knows because it's our protective space as Mac users. We always be the last to get something. But Ecamm is the one that we get first, and y'all are never getting. So when PC people come in and ask that, everybody just does. It's the drinking game, right? Those kind of things build that solidarity with your community. And I love Val hasn't seen. That is absolutely. I don't know where I missed
And
that
that wasn't
one,
even
but that's
it's
awesome.
not even like that is from from the community. So
Yeah.
I think and that was, I will say, even better than that. That was someone who was listening to all of the episodes and wasn't even watching it. So here I was so concerned at one point in the history of that show that, like, oh shoot, the live chat will, like, if I interact too much with the live chat, it will make a weird listening experience for the people who are not part of it. And I want to be, I want to be kind to our listeners as well. But here is a listener who has never met Val, who has never been in the live chat before, who is literally just listening to it, binge listening to each episode, that felt like they knew another community member and
See,
felt like they were
that's
part of the
gold.
community.
That goes back
So
to
it,
what Matt said. Oh, actually, take that back.
yeah.
That comes with Matt's fixing to say next. So before we jump into that,
All right.
I want to hold that thought because Katie don't even know it, but she just busted out a segue, which is funny considering date. Never mind. she see another inside joke. Steven said real quick, my daughter Tatum Quinn was on a Twitch stream singing, talking Brownie the toy party. Now I'm confused, but I'm curious. Goes up and does ASMR eating cookies. Just realized it's a character of the show.
Yeah.
That is absolutely gold. And listen. Hang tight on this. I'm going to come right back to you. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to come back to you because I want to make sure that we get that answered for you. Okay, so let me remove this question. And then, oh my God. See, now, Matt, you're going to make me sort of hope I play the right one, Matt. If not, we'll get back to it. But I think this is it.
Hey guys, Matt from the Generator Podcast. And I had a really quick question as we talk about community in all podcasts. One of the things that I see a lot are people that are quiet and don't necessarily participate. So how do you develop participation and engagement in a way that the people that tend to stay quiet feel like they belong in your community? Can you address that for me? Thanks.
So good. That is so good.
Good question.
I love that question. And so this goes to what Katie was just saying. Okay, understand something, family. And those of you who like to claim the term, can't say it, who like to claim the term introvert, it hurts my heart. Everybody's an ambivert. You just don't like the people you're hanging out with yet. That's it. Anyway, the people that use that terminology and like own that space, you're not, again, it's not that you don't want to be a participant. It's not like you don't want to interact. You're not a hermit. You just don't feel comfortable yet. You are observing. You are finding a space where you can fit in. And if you remember my old favorite TV show, Square Pegs, because it was you're being a square peg in a round hole, right? And a lot of us, introversion comes from, we often have been told by somebody or somewhere deep in our soul, we feel like we don't belong. So we're just looking for a place where we can get in. In the hood, we don't say introvert. We say get in where you fit in. Right? So when you find your space, you will percolate. You will pop up, right? You'll come up like an overnight zit. Hey guys, I'm here. And now I'm right here front and center. And it's just a matter of feeling like you have that space. So space making is important, but also realize, again, this all goes back to just building that relationship. And so Val, funny enough, Paul will tell you, Val was the most quietest member of the ECAM fam. She was super unsure that she belonged. She was super unsure that she can say what she wanted to say and be who she wanted to be. And then one day, we did a Christmas challenge. And Valerie is a professional singer. And when I say professional singer, she's backup singer for Diana Ross, professional singer. And in order to be second line to probably the greatest diva ever to walk the face of the earth, you got to be pretty good at what you do. And so even in her timidness, but knowing she had a gift that she could share for this Christmas thing that we were doing, a holiday extravaganza, she did a character called Goldie. We didn't even know it was Val at first. Only person that knew was probably Paul. She put on the animation and she sang through the animation of the Goldie. And then she had a goldfish that she would do the animation for. And they were like, this is incredible. Who the heck did this? And then finally it came up to be that it was Val. And then once she was able to do that, we got her past the point where she could come on camera and now she moderates the community, right? So it literally is true. Some of your best talents are lurking and they're waiting for you to say something that gives them permission to come up, and then you can't get rid of them, right? Now they're going to be there. They're a part of the family. You know, it is what it is. So I must say I love that question because I myself have been in communities where I just kind of sit back and I watch. And then I'm like,
It's also,
oh, they found this, I can agree with this person and that. This is my people. Let's go. Right.
yeah. It's also okay to, I think you can give yourself permission to not, to be okay with lurkers. If you've given time and space and people can comment or participate or join in if they want to, great. You've checked the box. There are some people I think about, the top 3 or 4 shows that I listen to on a regular basis, right? I have actually never been active in any of those communities. Like I'm not in their Facebook groups, I'm not in their Discords, I'm not a member of their Patreons even. However, when any one of those 3 drop a new merch item or release a book or do anything where they're like, hey people, hey community members, I would love for you to check this out or grab a copy. I am first to pre-order all of that.
Yep.
I own all their, so I am an active community member in that I'm ride or die. And those are my podcasts that I suggest to everyone. And those are the ones I listen to every single week, week in, week out. I do not miss an episode. I could tell you anything about them. They are my closest pretend friends. But I'm not what anyone would call an active member of their community. I am definitely a lurker. But I've spent a bunch of money with them.
100%.
I think it's okay. Like, I think some people might not actually, that might not be how they want to connect or be part of the community, and that's fine. They're still there in a group. They're just quiet, and that's okay. I think
Yeah,
that's fine.
I
So
follow a creator called Quinn. Everybody knows him as Snazzy Labs. He's a Mac creator. Absolutely love
Yeah.
his content. But the reason why I don't really comment in the community per se too often is it's a lot of cantankerousness around the anti-Apple camp or the extra pro Apple camp, whatever drives me crazy. So I don't want to get involved in another one that's going to take up too much of my time because I will stand my ground being an ex-Apple employee. But Quinn just invented these, and this is just a giant version of the cloth that Apple makes, and is pretty good.
Yeah.
And as soon
And
as he
you're
put
all
it
in.
out, I bought 2 of them instantaneously because I do know how good the $20 Apple cloth is that everybody makes fun of, but it absolutely works flawless. Matter of fact, one of the best performing videos on my YouTube channel. And when he made a bigger one, my only complaint has been Quinn's only complaint. When you have hands this big, that small cloth that Apple puts out is way too tiny. So he found a way to get close to it. And as soon as it came out, I'm going to get it right away because I just want to support him in a manner, or you'll send in super thanks or you send in super chat that way. That's basically how you do it. But I really love that question, Matt. It was super, super good. Okay, let me answer this real quick because
Yeah, let's do that.
I like
thumbnail
these things.
question.
Ba-ba. So, Training Site says, is there a way to set a default thumbnail for live streams? Absolutely. Depends. If you're setting up your live stream inside of Ecamm, we actually have a little box that allows you to put the thumbnail in it. When you're doing your description and your title, there's a little thing, it's a blank image hole. You just drag an image in there, boom, there's your thumbnail. If you're doing it on the YouTube side, there is a place when you go to set up a live stream, and I'll fake one real quick. On one of the not upload video, dude. Oops. See, I was moving quick. I clicked the wrong thing. When you're going to set up your live stream on the YouTube side, there is a place. It's on the bottom of the first page, if I remember, where you can drag in a thumbnail, and that will allow you to put a thumbnail to however you want. So let me say I'm going to reuse these settings, and I'll just go ahead and set my stream up for Saturday so Paul doesn't have to remind me. And let me give you a quick screenshot. Boom, chicka boom. And so in the YouTube back end, it looks quite like this. Boom. And right there, you just drop your thumbnail in. And then, of course, since I'm here, let me make sure I add it to my playlist live streams, and then I'll put the time in. We're good. And so now I'm scheduling my stream for Saturday. But when you schedule your stream, you do have a place to go ahead and pop that thumbnail image in. And here's what's really cool about YouTube that a lot of people don't realize. When you go to do the second one, and which is why, don't tell Ken and Glenn, I schedule mine from YouTube and not Ecamm, because once I'm doing a repetitive show. So my stream on Saturday is the same stream every Saturday for almost 7 years solid. I can just hit reuse settings, go. So once you take your time and you flesh out your title and your description and your block these people and do this and that. That can become a template, and every time you run that stream, you can just say reuse the last setup, and you're good gravy. Like, you don't have to waste time every time coming up with the new verbiage. It's better if you do, but I'm in the school of get it done quickly, don't overthink it. And so that is one of those situations where by doing the sort of here, I'm going to copy his picture real quick just so you can see what I mean, because I just posted that there. So
Oh, okay, I see. So we have a follow up. So they're saying that they don't want to have to create a thumbnail until after the stream. So yeah, so I think if you do what Doc said, if you just create like a placeholder image that's sized to a thumbnail that you have saved on your computer, and then when you go live, just drop that one into Ecamm. So that's your default one. So there's no way to my knowledge, there's no way in either Ecamm or in YouTube to just give it like always use this as a default. There's no way to do that. But if as you are getting ready to go live, whether you're going live immediately or you have it scheduled, that box pops up. So I think if you just do the act of actually creating a placeholder one, you can just drag that in, and then you can go back and update it later when you want to. So it is possible, but there's no way to like tell either of those tools, use this as my always default.
Well, actually, there sort of is. It's very, very buried inside of YouTube settings. But under YouTube settings, there is something called upload defaults. And if I remember correctly, no.
You are right.
Upload
Yes,
defaults does not have a thumbnail. So what it will do for upload defaults in that particular manner is it pulls your...
I think it does title and description.
No, I'm saying it pulls your channel header.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when you set up your channel header on YouTube, there is a area where you specify, here, let me see if I can pull edit real quick, and I'm gonna give you again another screenshot. So you have this thing called the banner image that's inside of YouTube, and it's inside an area called channel customization. When you set it up, you're going to create a 2000 by 1152. I do not expect you to remember that. You're going to create an image called 2000 by 1152 and 2048 by 1152. And whatever you create for that particular image, if you do not specify, that becomes your thumbnail for your live streams. So I 100% do ad hoc streams. I do them all the time. It absolutely happens. But when I do that, as soon as I say I'm going to go ad hoc, then I go and add a thumbnail. Secondarily, I will also tell you in that same vein, if you're doing an ad hoc stream and you schedule it from Ecamm, that's the key. If you do an ad hoc stream from Ecamm, go live now, you can actually drop the thumbnail in. So you have a random thumbnail that sits around in your desktop, and I literally just had Claude sort all of my images, so now I don't know where mine is. I legit just did this like yesterday. Here we go. Here's my ad hoc thumbnail that I drop into my Ecamm ones. When I'm just doing something and I'm just goofing, that's my ad hoc thumbnail. And as I create that ad hoc stream in Ecamm, I drop this as a theme because, and stop making fun of me, Katie.
I love it. No, I think it's great.
Did
you actually wear that outfit, or is that an AI help?
It's my sweater, but I put the jacket on. Okay. So I kind of need this outfit for real for doing it
I was like, do you actually have that outfit?
For what do you call it? What's it? First Monday, Friday of every month. Tech Talks. You know, it's my show. I should know what the heck the name is. Yes, I definitely do that. All right. So thank you, Trade Insights, for asking these questions. Absolutely love it. That was super, super good.
And then to Rob's follow-up,
I was just getting ready to get. I had Rob ready. Rob, listen, bro, you ain't said nothing but a word, Big Bird. Abso-freaking-lutely. 115.8%. Yes, I stand.
I'm using the super, like, I shouldn't use the word cheap, but like one of the most affordable of the OBSBot cameras right now. This one here is the Meet 2.
Yeah, and look, Katie's using a Meet 2. And the Me Too is like, I want to say it's $100, but like, webcams are the shizzle right now. I'm going to say something super crazy, Rob Cohn. I'm going to say something super crazy. If all you do with that M50 is live stream, I would take that M50 MK1 and that Sigma 1.4. The Sigma 1.4 is still worth $300 all day, every day. That Canon MK1, probably $350 to $400. I would add $700 to my whiskey collection. And then, well, actually,
You've been whiskey heavy this episode.
you're gonna need $100 back to buy an Osbot, or maybe 200 if you get the better
Come
one.
on now.
Okay, but yeah, I would absolutely sell that sucker. If all you use it for is live streaming, I would sell that, get more dollar for it, pick up the Osbot, and then put the rest of that money in your whiskey collection.
This one here is the Tiny 3, the brand new Tiny 3.
Yes.
So if you like, the Meet 2 that I'm using right now is a 4K webcam, but and it doesn't have any PTZ control, so it doesn't track you, it doesn't move, it's just a little and it's like this big. But if you're looking for one that has a bit more controls and a bit more functionality, the new Tiny 3 is great.
Yeah.
And I will say, I love my friends at Shure more than anything, but I did get since we're geeking out on tech, I got because I'm going to start doing crocheting videos. See what you started? Look at me. I never used to be able to geek out on tech, but with my new Tiny 3 camera, I also spent an additional $59 and got their Obsbot. I think it's called the Vox SE, which is their little wireless microphone, and it works only with the Tiny 3, and it's pretty darn good. So now I can be crocheting on the couch, which is my goal in life, and have my camera on me, and I don't have my I love this microphone so very much, but it was just too in the way. I couldn't crochet around it. So
ooh, brilliant.
Yeah, and again, like that. I mean, the total cost of that is still less than the camera that you have right now. So
the lens, less than the lens.
Lots of flexibility right now.
At the initial cost, the lens is $500, and I think you can buy one used for like $350. It still holds a very strong value, that particular lens. So yeah, if you're not using it for anything other than that, I would absolutely jump all over it. And Anthony, listen. You can't say you're a lurker because Anthony has been ride or die for multiple years.
You're commenting, so you're not a lurker
Thank
anymore.
you. Anthony been ride or die for multiple years, 100%. And let me answer this for Rob real quick. Thank you guys for coming into Q&A. Look, this Q&A show works. Yes, it does sync up to Ecamm Live, and that's the reason why I have been doing it in YouTube forever just because of comfort space, but I have totally spun them up inside of Ecamm as well. The one advantage doing it in Ecamm has for you is you can put in a larger thumbnail. And right now, YouTube is telling you, instead of putting in the 12, listen, don't tell Katie, but I yelled at like 3 years, Katie, stop putting in the 1280 by 720 thumbnail. No, that's what YouTube asked for. I said, YouTube lies. They will scale it. And the reason why is because when you watch it on TV, I would see the Ecamm thumbnails and they're kind of pixelated. And I have a massive Sony because I'm old and I can't see, right? And actually, the one in your living room, you got that beautiful Samsung picture frame one. You and Glenn both have that sucker. If you look at the thumbnails for older streams when they're put in at 720, the thumbnail looks kind of janky. But if you put your thumbnail in through the Ecamm method, which will allow you to put in a larger image because it's going to scale on the way up, those thumbnails come looking gorgeous on the TV, right? And so now that TV is pushing, not quite, it's almost 50% of YouTube viewership. You want to put the higher thumbnail. So even myself, I've been trying to break the habit of scheduling on YouTube and get more in the habit of scheduling on Ecamm, and then going back to YouTube and filling in all the extra stuff. See, the advantage of YouTube is there's a bigger form. There's way more info that you can put in, and that metadata, it does kind of help with search. But nowadays, search don't even matter that much anymore. I won't say it doesn't matter at all. It just doesn't matter as much. So, yeah, super good. All right, we got to power through one more of Matt's awesome questions. This is super cool.
Thanks, Matt. You made this whole episode fun. You and Sharon.
He ain't even come.
And our third person who Doc screwed up and we don't have your name. Please let us know your name when you watch this.
Maybe Caleb screwed up. Stop blaming me. Actually, it was me.
You said you screwed it up.
It was me.
You were the one who said.
It was 100% me. Listen, see, Matt, now you're getting me in trouble. Here, this one was gold, and I need to find it. Let me see. Matt is right here, I think.
Hey guys, Matt from the Generator Podcast. And I had a really quick question as we talk about community in all podcasts. One of the things that I see a lot are people that are quiet and don't necessarily participate. So how do you develop participation
Sorry,
and
Matt.
engagement?
We already answered that one, Doc.
Sorry, Matt.
Doc, Katie, thank you so much for having all these conversations. Here's another question that I have for you. We're all focused on consistency and intention in our creations. But as creators, we're already stretched thin. Can you tell me what it would look like week to week for someone that does have a lot already on their plate to really develop a thriving community? What is the time commitment involved in all of this? So what does it look like week to week? Thanks for any insight, guys. Have a good one.
Okay, I love this question. That was my bad typing, Sharon. I just said, hey, get an Ozbot.
Sharon, hang on, wait, we gotta correct this here. All right, if you go ecam.com/obsbot, that will give you a discount and information on
It's
all
not
this game.
Diazbot is the French version. Okay, let me alone. Let me alone. Let me alone. Hello, mi hermana. Look, she's in here on a heel. Matt. Family, the first thing you can do is get yourself in a position where you can, we call it habit stacking, but where you can sort of stack, right? And so, yes, by having a thriving community, there is a time commitment. But Becky hit us out the park last week. Katie brought it up earlier. Just don't overpromise. Hey, people, listen.
Just don't overpromise.
I will get in here when I can get in here, and I'll do things, and we'll have some get-togethers. We'll do a get-together like once a month or so. But let them self-run, right? This is where, Discord is good or Facebook group is good. Facebook group, I see a lot of Facebook group that runs, they never even see their admin. I can't believe I said something nice about Facebook. But, the time frame, it doesn't have to be crazy. But here's this. Just like today, all of the content for today's show comes from the Flow Riders. So if you set yourself up in a position where you can pull those interactions, those comments, those questions and everything, like when you go to do your show prep, that is the same time that you're doing sort of your community, involvement situation. I also tend to answer questions when I'm on hold, or as we say in New York, online at the bank. If I'm online at the doctor's, like I'm sitting in the doctor's office on Friday and she got late. So I'm sitting there for like 35 minutes, freezing my tail off. But hey, I'm in the chat, like, conversating with Kim folks, answering questions in the Facebook group where I can and things like that. The other thing you do is you empower the Daniels and the Andys and the Vals and the Pauls and now Marianne, welcome to the Mod Squad. You empower members to come in. For really technical things, I know that our community comes through with crazy technical questions. And I know that I can answer them. And at the time, I was the only person in our community who could answer them. So my brother jumps in, June, and he would always answer the technical questions for me. And through answering that, we found Daniel. And I'm like, yo, Daniel is the missing brother, June. And so the three of us had a conversation one day on Zoom. I was like, bro, you seem to have the same level of like absolute nerdery as my brother and I. Like, can you help out? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. He's Canadian. So other than touching a rock twice, he was like, yeah, they're always super nice. They just like to cheat at curling. So what I found that Daniel is just as nerdy as me. And even to this day, even though he's super busy, because my brother is the sort of tech liaison for the vice president of Bank of Hawaii, so he's super busy, but he still will come in, and if something really crazy and I can't get to it, I can just ping my bro and say, "Little bro, can you tap that?" And he got it. So you will start to develop people in your community, Matt, who will be your sort of helpers, who can come through and help you keep it going. But yeah, it's really about habit stacking where you can. I'm sitting on the couch answering questions while they're doing a recap on Pitt. I already know what happened. Just find a way to stack it.
Yeah. I'll answer this with the real numbers since you asked for the real numbers. So I mean, take what you will on whether or not I definitely have a small community, but I have an interactive, engaged community. So I will claim that. I will not claim that I have thousands and thousands of people. But I started knowing that the episode itself was going to be about an hour or an hour and a half. So at a bare minimum to get this up and running, I had to commit to an hour and a half a week. That was the absolute bare minimum to be able to just show up and be there. And then I was like, okay, I can do that. I can do 1 hour, an hour and a half a week. I can commit to that. And then, and then I just was able to grow from there. I would say these days it's probably 3 hours a week
Yeah,
that
'cause
I'm
you gotta watch
spending
the
time.
movie.
Because okay, I'm not counting watching the movie. So fine, it's 5 hours a week. But I think these days it's probably 3 hours a week, and that's inclusive of like scheduling out and planning any of the social media content and posts that I'm putting up. Clipping up episodes and getting those out across the different platforms. Optimizing, the show descriptions. Last night I was, messing around with some updates to the website. So like all the little things like that. But as Doc said, I really just started thinking to myself, oh, okay, I know that there's this time in the evening that I'm actually just wasting. Like there's this weird in between time where it's like, so there's my like chaotic dinner kid activity time. And I'm like, that's chaos. Nothing happens there. And then after dinner, but before the kids go to bed, there is this like weird block of time where like my kids are older. They don't really want to hang out with me anymore. They're like playing with friends or they're doing their own thing or whatever. And my husband is usually volunteering or doing stuff elsewhere. So I have this like block of time that I was just doing stupid things with. I was like watching TV or I don't know, just wasting time. So I'm like, all right, well, I can take that time. And even if I'm watching TV or doing whatever else, I can get all of the busy work done in that time. And I have that time every day of the week. So it does add up. So again, I started with, okay, I absolutely have to have this block of time. I have to have the hour and a half that I'm actually recording. And then where are those other pieces of time that I can pick up for small things? And as Doc said, like maybe it's the 20 minutes a morning when I'm getting coffee and I'm not quite ready yet to jump into work, but I can check social media and answer questions or comments there. Or I can check in emails.
Yo, Katie be on vacation in Slack, and me and Paul be trying to block her.
Yeah.
Like, get out of Slack, lady.
But it is a balance. Like, it is a balancing act, and it does come down to to thinking through prioritization. So it is a trade-off. Like, I have tons of friends who are doing all kinds of other things, and sometimes I'm like, how do they have time for that? And I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that because I am doing my own thing. I'm doing Amazon influencer reviews. I'm doing my own podcast. There's other things that I'm spending time on, and that's fine. That's what I've chosen to do. But it is like little blocks of time. But you need to know what the main blocks of time are that are you have to do every single week.
Yeah.
What is that? And then build from there up until you're comfortable, or your community and your show and your project gets big enough that you're able to hire help. I have my brother-in-law right now helping out, which is awesome. And even just the time that is saved in that, I'm like, oh, I can now reinvest that time in doing, in doing other things, or I can get that time back and do, fun personal projects or different things.
And answer more questions with video. Answer more questions with video.
Yeah.
Answer more questions with audio. Make it so you don't have to always sit down and type, because some of these things just come off more natural anyway. So definitely use some of these tools. And this is absolutely incredible. And I tell you what, like, we look forward to when it's time for your VHS or Val Hasn't Seen Club. like we look forward to it because it gives us a chance to catch up on the old movies. But yeah, I gotta say, this first episode of Mailbag was off the hook. I kind of liked it.
This was so fun.
We came through. We got some good stuff.
I did drop the link in. So obviously, as Doc said earlier, if you just go flow.ecam.com, you can leave us a voicemail. You can join our email list, and you can contact us. Not that one.
I got it. I was trying to do this one.
But at any point, you can also drop us a video like everyone did today, and that's just ecam.tv/mailbag. That will allow you to just leave a video, and we're more than happy to pull those in. But if you want to leave a voicemail, that works too. If you want to type it, also fine. We're happy to take questions any any which way. But I think it's more fun to get to get to see and hear you. So
Yeah,
I
and
appreciate it.
and Matt, I'm only going to give you crap about the vertical because I have to do the extra work of making it normal. But I don't care. I'm joking.
It looked great. It
looked-
sounded awesome.
It
I'm not
sounded
saying
awesome. It definitely sounded awesome. But this was a lot of fun, people. Like, please go through. Sharon, ask any more questions. Thank you for
Yeah.
you kickstarted the whole situation, and then everybody else jumps in. I hope this was our examples from Matt and the artist formerly known as and Sharon. Thank you, three, for that. Also, thank you, Ron and Training Sites for the ad hoc questions because, hey, those are acceptable as well. It's the Mailbag Q&A episode. So this has been an absolute freaking blast. We want to do this. We was like, oh, what happens if we don't get enough questions? Ha ha! Never happens. Don't feel when you do a Mailbag episode. Don't be scared. Once the questions start, hey, you'll find out you're like me, running out of time because I got to drink one more coffee before my next show. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for doing this. And as we say around these here streets, Flow Riders out.